This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reef.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Dog Show. Thank you, Ryan, for the message. It's not, if I'm honest, it's not that I'd forgotten this. I wasn't listening.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. We're going to be talking today about how to keep multiples of the same fish together. So one of the things that seem to be, maybe this is like a common myth. One of the things that I thought when I joined the hobby was you can keep two clownfish together, great, and there are some fish that you can keep together, but for the most part you don't keep two gobies, you don't keep two wrasses, you don't keep two hawkfish, you don't keep two blennies, you certainly don't keep more than one tang, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but actually that's probably not quite, well, it's just not true at all. There's some truth in it.
yeah,
but like it's surprising how many fish you can keep together. So we're going to talk about that, how you do it, how you discover which fish work and which fish don't, all that sort of stuff.
it's interesting because clownfish are one of those ones where you can keep two together, obviously, but you try three. Generally speaking, there'll be one person who goes, "I've got three," but like 99% of the time, like you cannot keep three.
You might have three for a week.
yeah. Or a day.
Yeah. And to be fair, I saw something the other day. Someone had a group of them. It was someone on Instagram. It was like, it was someone like saltwateraquarium.com or someone, I can't remember. Someone had a group of them in a tank. And you can do it like you can do harem tanks, like what they call BRS did the harem clownfish harem tank back in the day, didn't they? Which was really successful. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that later on. But for now, we're going to talk about other stuff. So Ryan, how have you been?
Good. It's been a good week this week. Obviously we had there was a Reefers it was the Reefers network, wasn't it? But like a Reef meeting yesterday. So that was it's always nice to meet a load of like-minded fish weirdos, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically the Reefers network is I don't know how to describe it. It's just exactly what it sounds like. Just a set up by a guy called Tom. It's on Instagram. A lot of you have probably heard of it, but just basically getting reefers together. And they organise a few of these events. And this one was at a shop in the UK called Advanced Aquarium Consultancy, AAC. Many of you will know it if you're in the UK, one of the biggest places, down in Harlow in Essex. And they got a load of people together. The shop was rammed.
Yeah, you were like squeezing past people, weren't you?
It was actually uncomfortable. It was too busy. But because AAC is a really good venue for it, because they had like a breakout room, like a big room that you could go and just chill out in, and there's a cafe and all that sort of stuff. So you could get away from the scrum and then get back into it. But yeah, so that's what they do. They organize these events, among other things. They've got a live stream, all that sort of stuff. They're on YouTube, Instagram, etc. And we went to that at AAC on the Saturday.
I always feel bad afterwards because, like, I think it's fair to say, and Alex will confirm this, I'm not overly a people person. Would you say that? Like, I'm not like, I know it's not that I'm not a people person. I don't usually leave my house, so I'm not well socialized with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
So when people come and talk to me, I'm like, I don't know what to say half the time. And obviously, a lot of the time, people they know everything about me, and I know nothing about them. So if you spoke to me yesterday and I seemed awkward or anything like that, that's the reason why. Because you usually see me hanging around in Alex's shadow, because that's where I feel safe.
That's funny. So normally I'm not normally like that. I'm normally quite happy and a bit. I like socializing, that sort of stuff. But yesterday I felt a bit like you, actually. So I don't know what it was. But yeah,
because everyone says like, "Oh, what you buying and what you taking?" It's funny because I was like, I mean, I've only got this one coral, which everyone else would think is the most boring coral ever. Because all I bought was one of those blue digis. which are
Yes.
basically
Yeah.
just grey. Obviously, you
Yeah.
saw it, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
I think people think I'm there, you know, like, oh, what's this amazing, wonderful coral? I'm like, no, I just haven't got that blue digi. It's grey and no one will want it but me, but I will be, that's what I got.
So I got a Monte Setosa, which is really common as well.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Reefkeeper put one on your website, coral-auctions.co.uk.
Yeah, they did,
I
yeah.
think this weekend, but I haven't seen one for a long time, actually. I've been after one for ages.
Have you?
So, yeah, although they're common, like,
I
they
had
don't
I
seem
had
to.
massive colonies of it that I cut up and they've all gone now. So
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's common but popular. So anyway,
yeah.
but yeah, we picked up some stuff. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, the event.
Yeah, so obviously, as you said, but so sometimes the hobby feels like it's not doing overly well. But when you see get all those people together, there's like a real buzz, isn't it? And there's definitely something about being around a group of people that like what you like, because many of these people you wouldn't come in contact with any other like, well, I definitely wouldn't, because as you know I don't leave my house, but many people you wouldn't come in contact with from all different ages and walks of life and areas. And but what you get when you get everyone into the same room, you're all just everyone's mate basically.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Easy
I've said this
conversation with
many
anyone, basically.
times, having someone that you share the hobby with that isn't your like wife or husband, who doesn't like to talk about it, is a massive thing, I would say. Would you not agree?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because you want to talk about it, and if you're talking to friends or work or whatever, no one cares.
So I don't know how people sign up to the Reefers Network or how people are part of it, but I know yesterday there was like a registration thing, but it's well worth.
Just you had to. I think you had
getting
to
involved.
sign in on the day. You don't need to register or anything. It's just
Okay.
like if you see an event advertised on Facebook or Instagram, turn up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's invited basically. But yeah.
So that was my day yesterday.
Yeah.
The other reason I like to go is because you get to see all the YouTubers as well. So obviously I see you all the time, but like who was there? East Coast Reefer was there, Spiritual Reefer. I didn't get to speak to him very well. I waved.
We saw Stefan the Yorkshire Reefer and Harry
Yeah.
Spiritual Reefer for all of 3 seconds.
Yeah, I think they were leaving. I know. I think Stefan was leaving when we saw him, didn't we?
And Harry was arriving as we were leaving.
Yeah. And
actually, we were ferried off to do a tour of the AAC farm.
Yes, that's true. Actually, yeah. Amy does some stuff was there as well. There were lots of people that were there. I just realized it's never a good idea to start listing off people you saw, because if you forget someone, then people get annoyed. So, but yes, there were lots and lots of people there, and yeah, it's just as I said, if you ever get a chance to go to one of those things, you should definitely go. And if you haven't got anyone, try to find. There's actually a group near me that's in Eastbourne. And there's one of my customers sort of like, I don't know if he runs it, but he's sort of like the spokesperson, the person I talk to anyway. And there's about 14 of them, and they all chat and swap corals and everything. So the hobby is very isolating when you're on your own, is all I'll say. So yeah, that was that. With regards to the farm, not a lot of change. I've fragged some huge Dragon Soul Favias, so they will be up for they'll be on the auction and on the website soon. I'm going to be stripping down one of the trays soon, just to the other tray. It's still not quite cleared that problem. I'm not sure. I don't know. The corals are doing better, but they're not like they still don't grow as fast as the one in the bottom tray. So I'm going to just strip the other 2 tanks down just to see if it makes a difference.
Okay.
So that's that, and I'm trying to think. The Moorish Idol was also doing well, which is surprising, because the day after I did the live stream last week, it wouldn't eat anything, and I was like, "What? You were fine yesterday, and I told everyone about you," because you don't want. This is the problem with doing this. Like, if it dies, everyone knows. Like, now that I've told everyone that I got one, if it dies, everyone knows. So it stopped eating the day later. Luckily, the day after that, it was eating again. And I think that what's happened is the gem tang doesn't like it. And it doesn't attack it all the time, but it does chase it occasionally. And you know how some fish are a bit more finicky and a bit more like sensitive to stress. So I'm going to give it another couple of days. And if not, I'm going to take out the gem tang, because I prefer the Moorish Idol, if I'm honest.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like it's just a really, really nice fish, in my opinion.
It's beautiful.
And even when I put coral in there, even if it eats the coral, if all the angels leave it and the Moorish idol, I will still keep the Moorish idol, I think.
Okay.
I
We'll
think
see. We'll see what happens when that starts happening.
Yeah,
Hopefully
that's
it won't,
true.
but you feel different when it happens. But
Yeah, I think the only thing that would actually make it so that because they can be a little bit aggressive as well, supposedly, once they're like settled. If it starts becoming a problem with the other fish, then I probably would get rid of it as well. But every day I see it, and every day it makes me happy. The other fish are like hench at the moment because I'm feeding like 5 times a day, which probably is unnecessary. But all the other fish are being fed 5 times a day as well. So like the king eye angelfish is like a bodybuilder at the moment. He's like, I'm not joking, he's probably gained like an extra 30% of his body, and he's like round now rather than like fish shaped.
Why is that? Have you just because you've increased feeding?
Yeah, I know. I literally because normally I would feed them literally like once a day before the Moorish went in there, but because it's a little bit selective about it, always eats, but sometimes it'll eat nori, and sometimes it doesn't fancy nori that sitting. It wants pellets that sitting, and because I feed all at the same time. And then sometimes put mice in, and it goes, no, I don't fancy mice, so I'll eat the grazing wheel. So it doesn't ever seem to eat one thing consistently, but the thing it does eat, it eats like properly. So it's not like it's pecking and I'm worried it's going to starve.
Yeah.
It fills itself up on one thing and then moves on to the next.
Well, we sort of force our fish to eat in a very unusual way. So because a fish in the wild is just grazing throughout the day, especially something like an angelfish and a tang. Whereas with reefers, keeping it in a box, you get fed once or twice a day.
Yeah.
So it must be very weird. And if there's an abundance of choices, then they can be a bit more selective and be like, oh, you know what? I don't want that protein today.
Yeah. It's the same as I think your one. You know how it's like pecking at the rocks all day. So it's eating like what's in there as well. So the other thing that I'm doing is because supposedly, obviously well, I'm sure this is true, but they need to have lots of like vegetables in their diet, because they're a herbivore, aren't they? So before fiber, sorry, before every feeding of mysis or pellets or anything, nori goes in first. And I don't put a sheet of nori, and I literally like break it up for it because it seems to like it when it's not on a sheet. It's very temperamental.
It's a bit of a diva.
It is a bit of a diva. So I literally, I think 3 times a day I get some nori, do this with it, so it all like turns into little flakes, and then it goes and eats them. And then after that, then I feed the main food to try to keep it so that everything's moving through its system properly. So hopefully, look, if that's what Elliot and Marine Collectors says, isn't it? He says
they get constipated if they just eat moises.
Do I think that because he says that sometimes he can be a little bit like, I think it's hard to say, where he's like, oh, it's easy. It's not that difficult. I'm not sure that that's true, is what I'll say.
No, I think so. The times when they talk about how easy a fish is to keep, there'll be times when he'll say it's easy, and then he'll list a load of things that you need to do. And actually, it's easy if you do all of these things, but all of those things are actually quite a lot of effort. If this is what you do for a living, then fine.
Yeah.
But I think I sometimes think that he rates how easy they are for him, rather than your average hobbyist who gets lazy and skips things, all that sort of stuff. But
also, they might be easy if they're in a tank by themselves, which is what they would be at his facility.
Yeah.
Like if you put them in a tank with a load of tangs, maybe they're not as easy. It's like, but look, don't get me wrong, I've learned a tremendous amount, and if lots of fiber is the thing that makes a big difference for them, then that's information that I didn't know, and probably I don't know what to do. So it's very valuable information. I'm just not sure they would be classified as easy in my.
No, I wouldn't think of them easy. But
if you got to feed them 5 times a day, they're not easy. 5 times a day, with like 4 different foods.
Yeah. But he's doing all right then, yours at the moment.
Yeah. And as I said in the video put out, I was a little bit concerned about having its fin nipped. But the actual biggest concern for it, I think, is when it swims too close to the MP40, because obviously he has a really long streamer, and but so far it hasn't gone in there. But I just every so often it gets a little bit too close. I'm like, look, you might get a haircut in a minute, mate. But I'm glad I did it, is what I will say. 2 weeks in, or 3 weeks in, I think. Yeah. So I am glad. I might not be so glad later on, but would I get another one? Probably not. In fact, almost definitely not. I wouldn't get
what, as in if this one died, you mean?
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Just
because
as I said,
it's
I just think sometimes in your gut, don't do something, but then you do it anyway on impulse. And this is a fish that I did that with, definitely. And I don't know if you did the same thing when you bought your one.
I can't remember now. I don't remember. It was, I don't know, a year ago, 6 months ago. But I've been thinking about it for a while. It's one of those things that I go through when I've thought about them loads, and I'll go through a stage of thinking about getting fish. You do a load of research, and you try to persuade yourself that it's a good idea. The better way to do it is to watch all the videos and read all the articles that tell you why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
and then you've got a better. But I just go into it thinking I don't want to hear all this. They're difficult. I want to hear the good stuff.
Yeah. A perfect example of that is, so it's not unusual for one of my customers to say, look, I want an Achilles tang, which isn't a problem. That's fine. But I say to them, look, this is not a wise choice. Every single time there's certain fish that I say to people, like, are you sure you want this? And 9 times out of 10, after I've spoken to them, they go, oh, no, I'm not actually. I've changed my mind.
Oh, right, okay. That's good.
Yeah, definitely. Just because, like, when I can't remember what Achilles tangs cost, but they're like 650, 700 or something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of money now. I remember when they were 250, and I was like, I would never buy one of those. But they're a fish that almost certainly, like, one of my customers has one in a fish only tank, and I'm happy for him to have that, because if he gets white spot, he treats the whole tank with copper. It's fine for a year or whatever, and it doesn't have any problems. But if it's going into a reef tank, I would say that more people, like considerably more people, fail with them than have success with them. That doesn't mean no one has success, but a lot more people. And they are a tremendous amount of money. This isn't buying a £20 fish that is likely to not do well. This is a very expensive fish which is likely not to do well, and I personally would want to know before I bought that fish.
Yeah.
So, and more shells, I would say probably would be in the same category as those fish that I warn people about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, mine was I had no problem with eating, but I had it for like 2 weeks.
And it had no problem with eating the corals.
Exactly. That's why, yeah. But it had literally no problems whatsoever. But then if they're known to die of constipation, that's not going to kill it in a week or whatever, is it? So
that's the other thing. I don't know how long that takes. Is that like a?
I'm guessing it's months. That must be, you can't die of constipation in like a few weeks. 6 months? I've got no idea.
Well, in theory, you've just got to have like 3 days of feeding it the wrong food.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that builds up continuously. Do you understand you see what I mean? I didn't think we would be talking about bowel movements on here.
I know. I don't know, but anyway, I don't know. This is outside of my area of expertise. So
yeah, but maybe it could actually be that long term, like the wrong food long term damages its.
That's what I think is. Yeah, that's my impression.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because I worry when the reason I feed nori first is to keep everything going. So I worry that if it eats too much mysis that day, it'll keel over.
I don't think it's that bad. No, I think it's I get the impression it's a long-term thing, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think as long as you're feeding a bit of roughage, I now feed seaweed pellets of nori every day. I never used to, but the seaweed pellets, they're Hikari seaweed pellets. I think I use the medium ones. I've tried all the different sizes. I think it's the medium ones. Might be the small. I can't remember anyway. They're brilliant. They're so much better because it's a bit of a pain feeding nori. And like feeding it, if you're once a day, it's not that hard. It really isn't. But when you've got to do it every day for the rest of your life, it's one of those jobs that I find really easy just to go, I just want to sit down and chill out now. So
this is having one of those things where you're a bit fragile, isn't it?
very fragile. But this is because you've got to do it literally every day. Having seaweed pellets on an auto feeder is amazing.
Yeah.
It means that it always happens no matter what. I never get lazy for a week or whatever. They just always get some roughage. So
Yeah.
and it's easier that's one of the beauties of having a big tank. So my tank is 6 foot long. It's massive, 700 liters after displacement of water. So I can afford to throw in quite a lot of food. Whereas if you got a nano tank, like I did the video for the TMC tank this week it was about the ugly stage, but it was also I tested my parameters, and if you overfeed on a tank that big, that small, you get high nutrients quite quickly.
Yeah.
My parameters were I don't think I told you. I think I told you the salinity.
But I know I knew the salinity was way out.
Yeah, so the salinity was 1.033.
So that's like way out.
Way out. And the some of the stuff alkalinity was fine, nitrate was fine, phosphate was 0.5, which is quite high, but not. Yeah. I actually thought it would have been worse. And then calcium and magnesium were weird. They were 990 for magnesium, and calcium was 350, which doesn't make sense. First off, if your salinity is that high, I would expect, if anything, them to be high, not low. So that was a bit weird. And there's nothing in there that will consume it, unless the rocks. Sometimes I think the rocks can consume that, new sand, that sort of stuff, maybe. But anyway, I then did a massive water change, 2/3 water change, after leveling the salinity off by topping up with fresh water for a few days. And the water change leveled off pretty much everything, but calcium and magnesium didn't change at all. Same exact result. So I've just done a 2/3 water change. That's not possible. So I think I'm going to throw my Salifert kits away and buy new ones, as in new Salifert test kits.
Because I think you're sure the salinity was correct? Because that seems like, then again, because the only thing you've got in there is zoas, isn't it? And tidal pools, like where you like if there's zoas in like a little tide pool where the sea's gone out, and obviously it evaporates, you never maybe, and they survive like literally out of water if you ship them. I don't ship them out of water, but you can literally ship them in like a wet piece of paper, can't you? And they're still fine.
Exactly, they've all been fine, but until like yesterday, I noticed one of them. It's the laser lemon colony. Like half of the colony is just normal and fine. The other half is like completely lost its color. It's like it's not bleached, but it's like it looks anemic. So there's obviously there's something is bound to be the salinity, or I don't know what it is actually, to be honest, because everything was all over the place. But they were the worst parameters I've ever tested. But if it was it actually 1.033? I don't know, because I'm guessing the devices, refractometers, are designed to measure in a small range. So the further you are away from that range, the less accurate they are, is what I would guess. So it's not impossible that actually it was only 1.030 or something. But but there was I'd lost quite a lot to evaporation. Actually, I was surprised how much. I've got a lid on that tank. I'm surprised how much I'd lost to evaporation.
So you don't. There's no auto top up on it then.
No, because it's got a lid on, so you shouldn't need it. But also because the water level was maybe just under a centimeter below where it should be. So that's how much it'd gone. But weirdly, the water level, normally when your tank evaporates, it's the water level in your return pump section that drops. On this tank, I think it must be because of the way the filtration section is set up. The water level in the return pump section doesn't drop. Drops a little bit, and then it stays where it is, and then the entirety of the tank water drops, which is really weird.
I wonder if the fluid was the same.
I don't think it was. I don't remember getting big evaporation in that tank, and it's weird because there's a couple of ventilation slats in the lid for this tank, but they're small. So for it to lose that much, albeit over the course of, I think it was 5 weeks, that was probably it. But I was surprised that it lost so much.
You didn't top up RO water in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Well that might be what did it.
But that's the thing. And I didn't test the water at all in that point. And if I'd have been testing every week as you should do, I'd have spotted it. So, but yeah, they were bad parameters.
It's actually amazing what like fish can survive in.
Yeah.
Considering they die sometimes, if you think about it.
This is the thing. So we'd often say that like fish and corals can be saltwater can be extremely sensitive and delicate and temperamental, but at the same time, there are times when they're also really hardy and they can survive anything. And actually, the fish were swimming around in that tank. You would have no idea, based on the fish's behaviour, that the salinity was out by that much. And even when I changed it, when I brought it back, they were again no change in behaviour, no coloration difference, no different in movement, no different in appetite, nothing. They were exactly the same. They were just fine. They were just like, it's a bit salty in here, isn't it? Yeah. And all the zoas were generally fine, except one that's now half changed colour, but or lost half its colour.
This is the problem with second tanks, and especially if they're second tanks and they're small tanks, you don't love them as much as the big tank. You would never let your big tank get to that stage.
No. And the other thing, if I'm going to be completely honest, it's not just the second tank. Part of it is because I'm not setting that tank up for myself because I'm going to keep it forever. I'm setting it up to make YouTube videos because I think it's a cool tank. So that's different when there's no passion, or there's not no passion, but there's not the same passion as when it's your own tank. And I'm actually looking forward to getting my new tank in and swapping out, because I'm going to enjoy that one a bit more. Whereas this is almost this is an admin burden. It's still exciting at times, but like it's just I've neglected it way more than I should have done. Because it's not hard to test salinity once a week, is it?
Because that's the other thing I tell people all the time. Like in the consultations, people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a second tank." One of my regular customers, so I know will be listening, has just started a second tank, because I know he listens every single week, and he'll probably comment. And I'm just like, trust me, a second tank is a really bad idea because you just don't love it as much as the other tank usually. If you want to get a second tank, just get a bigger first tank is usually the better idea.
For sure, yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is because I always encourage him to get a bigger tank.
But even then, big tanks are. I love my 6-foot tank, but it's doing large water changes on it is such a pain. For me,
not if you're me.
I know, but I don't have anywhere to keep large storage containers. And if you don't have that, then I'm limited to 10% of the time.
Just put them in the garden.
But then this is like, I live in a Surrey cottage, Ryan.
I suppose a 600-litre black barrel outside the back of your house probably would stand out.
Although, to be fair, we've got a heating oil, which is in the same kind of. It's like it looks like a water change barrel. So
the biggest issue for you is heating the water up if it's going to be stored outside. That's the biggest issue.
Oh, that's true. It's just not practical. But anyway, but yes, go on.
Just quick, because you mentioned obviously about the fish survival. It reminded me of there was a girl, and she was in the 6th grade. So I'm not sure what grade the 6th grade is, but I think it's relatively young.
Sounds young. I don't know.
And as her school science project, this concerns me a little bit.
11 to 12 years old.
Okay, so she's 11 to 12 year old, and in America she did a science project, and her science project was to try to work out, because they have a big lionfish invasion over there, what salinity the lionfish can live in. And I don't know what this is, but the result ended up being that they survived at 6 parts per 1,000.
Wow, that's fresh water, basically.
And no one had ever done that before. Like, no scientists had done it. Now, 2 things come to mind when I think that. Firstly, wow, they can live in like really, really like low salinity. And secondly, that girl is a psychopath.
I was going to say, it's a bit cruel, isn't it?
Because if your school project is to see whether you can kill lionfish, even if they're an invasive species, that's.
And the only way to complete the test properly is to kill it, because otherwise you don't know.
Not just that, like you have to, like the parents have to go, yeah, don't worry, we'll let her do it.
Yeah.
So, but it is interesting. So we now know that some fish can survive as low as that, and some fish can survive at what your level was.
Yeah, exactly.
So, there you go.
That's my contribution to science.
I told you Steve would be listening. So Steve is the person who I keep encouraged to get a bigger tank.
Yeah, okay. Having even actually hit frag tanks are a pain. But because my big tank has a specific section in the sump, a separate sump extension that you can use as a frag tank.
Yeah,
that is just so good, because you don't have to maintain a second tank. All I've got to do is put a power head and a light down there, and that's it. I don't have to test water twice. I don't have to do other maintenance twice. Just everything is just bang in the sump. That's so good. I love that.
Yeah, I used to sell quite a lot out of it was probably, if you think about it, it's only like probably 1.5 foot, because I had quite a big sump, and that's That was good enough to fund running the reef tank.
If I need to sort out to sell some corals, but if I were to sell everything that's in there, it'd be a couple £100 easily, and I reckon I could do that fairly regularly because it doesn't take much to get corals growing.
See, I said to you the other day, and you said like, there's no way I'll keep it up, which is true. But I would love to do a project not a project, like of how much money I can make from a fluval evo. I think it would be a fun series to follow, because
about 4 seconds ago you were saying getting a second tank is a bad idea.
No, I have a fluval evo, so that's fine. And I literally just drain water out of the coral farm into the fluval evo when I do a water change, and so replace all of the water with coral farm water, and then take all of that water out once a week and replace it again. So it's not like
100% water change every week. Yeah.
It's basically 100% water change with water from the coral farm. Yeah. So that's not so much. It does. You have to clean the glass, which is a pain in the ass. But
do you though?
Yeah.
Does it matter if you don't? I suppose it.
I don't have to clean the glass, if you see what I mean. But what I'm saying is, if I was going to film a video series, I'd have to clean the glass.
See. Yeah.
But I think it'll be really interesting because people go, "Oh, it's so expensive doing this." And I'm like, well, look, I have the ability to sell coral to a wide range of people, so that bit's covered, and it will just be interesting to see how much I can actually generate from what is I don't know how wide they are, but they're not that big, are they?
56 centimeters long, yeah.
Yeah, and then works every so often I think of something, and then as I'm doing stuff, I think more and more about it, and I'm like, well, like there's no dosing on that system, so that's something that people have to take into consideration. Obviously, the water is essentially free because I'm using the same water. It's just recycled water, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The light, don't know how strong that would be. Like if it's strong enough, I could just grow a load of zoas in there potentially and frag those up. But I just think it would be an interesting project to do and to keep an Excel spreadsheet. And I think that it's the sort of thing where you could do like a half-an-hour video after a year of doing it rather than once a week. Do you see what I mean?
I so much prefer videos that are long term. I hate now. I don't like doing videos when I've had something for a week. It's just like pointless. You learn so much more later down the line, and it's so much more useful when you can say, "Hey, look, this was my idea, and this is how it turned out."
Yeah. So because there's definitely some. So there's some YouTubers that I'll occasionally watch, not about this, and it's like they're doing something over the course of. There was a gardening one. I think this is actually where I got the idea from. There was a man who was gardening out of a little tiny space out of his front garden, and he wanted to see if he could make a profit in a year. And it showed you the entire year in that half-an-hour episode. Now I haven't got the capacity or patience, or even just I'll have forgotten about it after a week, to record everything from that tank for an entire year and keep filming little videos of it and storing them somewhere so that in a year's time I can make that video. But some people are really good at that, and they must have like 20 videos on the go at all times, just filming different things. So
really valuable though. But
I think it's an idea, and I think it would be interesting for people, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. Basically.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
On the subject of frags and all that sort of stuff, I've been looking for. I've been looking for a.
What was that you're about to show?
I'll show you. I've been looking for a frag rack for a little while because I want to make my sump area at the moment that is a frag section. I want to make that a second display section. I want to put a rock in there that I can cover in corals and just make it look amazing, because you always see it top down as well, so it looked really cool. And I just like the idea of having a top down awesome coral, blue light, fluorescent and all that sort of stuff section. But I want frag racks still in there because I still need to keep frags. So I've been looking for a frag rack that I can keep either side, and I found these. They're from Avid Aqua. We talked about them before. No doubt you'll have forgotten already, but this is Terence set up.
I remember.
Only because I showed you.
I remember because I spoke to you yesterday. I saw you buy it.
yeah. But so Terence from formerly of Neptune Systems, I can't remember the guy he set up with. He'd gone into business with someone else, and they've created a company called Avid Aqua. They sell various things. and this is one of their frag racks. This is called the Stingray. Oh no, wrong button. Hang on a second. Oh, come on, mate.
Oh, this is you being a hand model, wasn't it?
This is yeah. So this is what it is, and it's just they've got the magnets are ultrasonically sealed, which basically means they won't leach and rust. But they're at an angle, and they've got these clever little. So they've got silicone grips, but they're not individual silicone grips for individual frag plugs. So you can just slide them along and put as many or as few as you want. It's really clever. It's quite expensive, 45 quid each. But actually, I bought two. I thought they'd be more than that, to be honest, because the magnets are always quite expensive, and that's quite a decent one. But
for the ones that I bought, which I bought them in America, to be fair, they're quite a bit bigger than that, but they were £60. This was a long time ago. I can't remember who makes them, but they're well known in America for making acrylic racks. Yeah. So there's cheaper than those, but I would say it's probably like half the size. You could fit because there's also got two rows of frags.
I think they are expensive, but I thought they were. I was thinking they'd be more. I think they're good value for what they are. They're really cool, actually. But anyway, so I've got one coral on there at the moment. That's it.
Okay.
but those are them, and in the UK you can only get them from AAC, is my understanding, which is where we were, the Reefers Network.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why that is.
Exclusivity agreement. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're acting as a distributor. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably that. Yeah.
I guess maybe Avid Aqua are just sort of testing the water and seeing how they get on in the UK.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I talked to you last week about my phosphate.
Yes.
And I made you guess what my phosphate had changed from in 3 weeks, because I was using Reef's Elements Lanthanum.
It's going to have gone down a large amount this week, I reckon.
Correct. So last time it had gone down in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It had gone from 0.52, which is crazy already, to 0.51.
Yeah.
And this time round, I decided, let's do this properly. So I went at the top. The Reef's Elements phosphate stuff gives you a range of how much to dose, and I was roughly in the middle. This time I was like, right, I'm going to the top end of the range. And I'm going to do it properly, basically using the product as it's intended. Really, building up slowly, and now it has a proper impact. So a week on, and I'm at 0.25.
Okay, so that's
it's a big. You're right. Great.
That's a big change. Yeah,
that's a big change, but that's not like that's not too fast. I'm having to back it off now because I don't want to strip it out and end up with zero. But finally. And it'll take a bit of dialing in, but finally, I now feel like this is at the point where it's controlling phosphate in the way I expected it to, or the way I wanted it to.
Have you noticed any difference with regards to the corals?
So the tank is for yes, but not. Okay. I don't necessarily know because of that.
Good or bad?
Good. So my tank, no one's ever happy with their tank, are they? Right? And no. I'm the same. There've been times recently where I've just been looking at it going, it sucks, I'm not really happy with it, blah, blah, blah. But actually, at the moment, for the first time in a long time, this is what it's looking like. This is a video on Instagram I posted. It's looking really good. I'm actually happy with it. And when people come around, for the last 6 months, I've been like, yeah, it's okay, I've got problems and all that. But now when people come around, I'm like, it's actually doing all right. I actually don't mind it. So it is doing better, whether that's just because of the phosphate or... I think also I've done other things as well. So because I think my Salifert test kits were Duff, they were giving me a low reading, and then when I sent off the ICP, they were really high, calcium and magnesium. So I switched off dosing those two. So those two are now probably back in line. I'm sending off another ICP test tomorrow. So I think that's probably more likely to be it. But this will have had some impact, having more sensible phosphate levels.
I just wasn't sure if because it all of a sudden dropped quickly, if there was a negative impact, but obviously not.
I see. No, nothing like that. And it wasn't that quick, to be fair. It's probably, I don't know what the advice is for how many points you should drop per day. But to be honest, if it's 0.5, I think you've got a reasonable amount of wiggle room. So I think dropping down to 0.25 in a week is fine. Probably if you'd asked me to what I would have liked, I would have wanted that to go a little bit slower, but it's fine. No problem so far. Touch wood.
Have
you been up to anything else before we talk about how to keep multiples of fish together?
No, not really. The only thing that I just remembered, obviously we've spoken about the auction site before. It is slowly but surely progressing with regards to other people. So Moss End have put a back. They never really left. What actually happened was I think it's really hard work, like taking all the pictures and stuff. And they're really busy.
Yeah.
And they came, every time I saw them, they're like, oh, like I promise you, we are back. We're just really busy at the moment. And then this week they're back, so they put some nice acros on there. But since eBay has closed, incrementally, I think we had 4 new vendors this week, and there was 314 corals. Normally there was 120 corals in a week on there.
Okay.
So it is starting to progress in the right direction, is what I'll say. So hopefully moving on to like bigger and better things. If we get so that it's like 1,000 corals in a week, that would be like amazing if you think about it.
This is when you start talking about this. All I was interested in was having loads of people on there and the variety. If it's just one, I don't like auctions personally, but when there's loads, I'll be more up for it.
Yeah, and it's good because let's put it this way. I know you said you don't like auctions. The coral that you bought yesterday is currently on there, so there is a coral that you potentially would have been interested in.
But why do I don't want to wait. Like if I want a coral, just give it to me now.
Yeah, but the person who put it on there is your local fish shop.
I know. So well, that's I could have gone and got it from them, which would have been great.
Yeah.
But like if I with auctions, I'm sorry to criticize the premise.
Okay, come on.
But like so with that coral, for example,
we'll decide if I finish the live stream. Okay.
I know. But with that coral, for example, that was 30 quid.
Yeah.
And if I'd got it on auction, let's say it would, I get lucky and I get it for 20 quid.
Yeah.
I've saved a tenner.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's like.
But think of the excitement. That you don't know if you're going to get it for 10 quid less.
Yeah. What if I end up paying 40 quid or if I miss out? Someone else beats me.
That is true. I mean, to be fair, I was looking at someone on eBay just before this, and I went to like way higher than I spent the whole week thinking about buying something, and then I was like, I'm not buying that. So I see what you mean.
But it's some people love auctions. That's one of the reasons I don't. But to be fair, I do sometimes buy auctions. Anyway, we're going to do member questions before we move on to the headline topic. First one is from The Crusade. He says, really looking forward to this one. This isn't a question, I just realized. I've got 7 tangs in a water box, LX 270.6, and everyone thinks I'm mad. That's the same tank as you.
Yeah. I mean, I've had 7 tanks besides that, so.
Yeah, there you go. And the next one is a question, and this is from Hamish Walsh, who says, hypothetically, if you could only have, and I'm going to rephrase this, if you had to only have one type of fish in your tank, and they could all get along, what would it be? I think you would have a school of Midas blennies. Midas blennies are cool. But if you had to have one, you could only have one fish. And let's say there's no aggression. So you can have a school of sharks if you want, or Moorish idols or whatever. What would you go for?
The first thing that comes to mind, weirdly, is I don't even know why. It was purple tangs. I remember seeing a tank that had 6 purple tangs in it before. And like, because you don't see 6 purple tangs ever, do you? So you sometimes you'll see 6 yellow tangs, but you never see 6 purple tangs. And I was just like, that is a cool tank. And there was nothing else in it, just 6 purple tanks. It was pretty much that it had coral in it. But so that's a tank that stuck with me. Although there'll be way cooler fish than that. Yeah, 6 Moorish Isles would probably be cool, but that's 6 times the problem of 1.
It's true. But so this for me, it would be big fish as well. Like a school of blennies would be kind of cool, but a school of if I'm fantasizing and I'm living in a world where I don't have to worry about aggression, I'm also going to live in a world where I don't have to worry about them eating corals. So give me a school of Addis butterflies, reef dork butterflies.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like you could have 6 Addis butterflies in a tank, but you could, in fact, you definitely have 6 Addis butterflies in a tank, but you can't have 6 Addis which don't eat coral.
Well, I can now because I've just made up a game. So, but just big fish look really cool. There's the Heliocus butterflies, bannerfish look really cool together in groups.
Or the other thing would be like 30 antheas. It doesn't even matter what species.
Very true. Yeah,
just 30 of the same species.
Yeah.
Because then you've got at least a little bit of variety because you have males and females and they're sexually dimorphic. So then you got at least 2 different looking fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a proper schooling fish.
Yeah.
They're cool. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
There is one more question from Rich's Reef, but I'm going to save that to the news. And I
Okay.
do need to ask you if we're allowed to talk about it. It's the thing that I think you saw on Facebook. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Look, we were told not to talk about it, is all I'll say.
But then it was posted on Facebook, which is public.
I know, but I don't know. You
No,
see,
okay.
look, we were
Fine.
told not to talk about it.
In which case, we won't talk about it. So Rich's Reef will come
You
back
only,
next week.
Say, you only need to wait one day. You'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest,
It's not very exciting.
Alex was excited. Oh, I don't know if you're
Not really. No.
Well, you're
They're
more
interested.
into that side. It was equipment related. I have no interest in it. Is the reality.
Yeah, fine. We'll talk about that next week. It's not interesting. You're gonna if you're sitting there going, oh wow, this is gonna be exciting. It's not. You're okay. Well, you can just look in the chat and see what people are saying. I have no control over that. Anyway, right, fine. In that case, we're going to move on to the headline topic, and I'm going to make a point of writing the time down because I forgot to do that last week. 46 minutes. How to keep multiple fish of the same type together. So, Ryan, we talked at the start briefly about the perception of this is that you can't keep. Most people think, well, you can't keep pairs of fish together, and this I wanted to do this because you have recently started, or well, for 6 months now, or maybe more. You've been keeping several blennies together.
Yes.
And blennies was one fish that I always just thought there's no way you should keep two blennies together because they'll fight. Yeah. And it's the same with hawkfish. That's people often like when they see my tank, they often say, oh, how can you keep two hawkfish together? Don't they fight? And they're absolutely fine. And I've done it. I've had them for years. So there are lots of fish like that. And the blennies did surprise me actually, because you've got like 4 and they live within 2 inches of each other.
Yeah. So I have 3 which are the same sort of subspecies, which are the Pictus, Gold Streak, and bicolor. Although my bicolor is like barely a bicolor anymore. It's like 95% black. It was originally black and orange. It's gone 95% black and 5% orange on the tip of its tail. No idea why. But it's just. I wonder if it's camouflage from the clownfish.
I wonder if it's stress because it doesn't like living with other blennies.
No, it doesn't care. I promise you, it does not care about the other blennies, but the clownfish does not like it. It never gets it, but it just every so often you just see the clownfish like going, "I don't want you here." So,
to be fair, bicolor blennies are one of the fish that do camouflage. So when they're stressed or trying to hide, they do completely change color, don't they?
Maybe it was literally I just happened to see it today, and I looked at it like you're mostly black now. So maybe tomorrow it'll be half black and half orange again. But and then the other one is a different subspecies of blenny, which is the flymo blenny, the red spotted flymo blenny. So I have never seen any aggression with any of them at all. Not like occasionally they'll like square off to each other. I've never seen one bite the other one. Not like with tangs, they actively go chase them until they bite them. Never anything like that at all. They are all 3 of them are roughly the same size, which can if you have a big tang and a small tang, they'll often leave each other alone, or sometimes they'll leave each other alone. But I think that with blennies, that might not be true, is what I like with regards to, or it may be that because the most common blennies used to be like algae blennies, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
Maybe that see so many. Yeah, no, you don't see that many algae blennies anymore, do you? I don't know why.
You don't. No, there's no obvious reason. I want to get my starry blenny back, my black spotted algae blenny, whatever you call it. They're so cool.
Well, I wonder if that species of blenny is a bastard, and that's and whereas the small ones that I've got, they're fine, but that it's given people a a negative version, view of all blennies.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna throw myself on my sword, and I'm gonna find out, just in the interest of the hobby and science, and not because I want it. I'm gonna buy a starry blenny, and I'm gonna put it in my tank, which will be with a Midas blenny, and we'll see how it gets on.
I don't think you'll have an issue with the Midas blenny.
Nor do I.
No. I think again they're very different subspecies of blennies.
Yeah.
They don't even look like the Pictus blennies are similar to an algae blenny or a starry blenny, but Midas blenny is totally different, isn't it? So I don't think you have a problem. Now, if you said to me you're going to get a starry blenny and an algae blenny, now that would be interesting.
Because they both eat the exact same food, so
yeah. And they look similar. So,
but this is it. So so you've managed to keep blennies together, and they're fine. There's no problems whatsoever. To be fair, this is one of there are a few things that you've got to think about. You can't just go, I'm just going to whack them all in together and see how they get on. So you've got a 6 foot by 2 foot by 2.5 foot front to back tank. So that's a big tank. But even though I know this is the thing, even though they all live next to each other, there's a difference between I'm choosing to live next to these guys and I have to live next to these guys. So this is all much easier and much less risk in a big tank. And ultimately you need to be able to, and CJ's aquariums in the house, saw him earlier, said this as well, you need to be able to catch fish, because this does not, there's a reason that people talk about why you can't keep conspecifics together, because it does go wrong. And when it goes wrong badly, to the point that one will die if you don't take action. So you need to have a plan for catching the fish, whether it's, if you've got a small tank like the one over my shoulder, I could just drain 90% of the water and take it out with my hand. If you've got a big tank, you need a fish trap or just some way of catching them.
Egg crate, separate. If you can separate the tank with egg crate, that's another good way.
Yeah. So you've got to be prepared no matter what to take action if things go pear-shaped.
The bigger the tank you have, the more wiggle room you have to get away with. Definitely. Like I've seen some big tanks which are insane, and you just think, how are you doing this? Because everything I know tells me this isn't possible. And then you're mixing like 30 angelfish, or there's 30 tangs in there. Look at Jamie's tank; that had loads of tangs in it, didn't it? So the bigger the tank you have, the more wiggle room, definitely. So
but even then, so Polo's Reef has dozens of tangs and angels and all this sort of stuff, true. And they fight. So there's I've seen some of the, like he's shown some of the tangs, and they're ripped to shreds. So even when, and that tank is enormous, and they still pick on each other. And
supposedly, I've heard. So I don't know. This was something I heard a long time ago. Lots of people that have big tanks like that can be completely fine with the tanks for years. Are you messaging Mrs. Reef Dork saying, "Wait, like I asked you for a beer a minute"?
I'm not, but I've just got just thank you. I've just seen a message that popped up, and sometimes you just think, "Oh my god." But anyway,
I will keep myself a note.
I'll tell you later.
Oh my god,
I'll tell you later.
I'm interested.
It's just from a friend, but
okay. Well, I lost my friend. Oh yeah, so supposedly people with like really big tanks, their tanks can be fine for like years, 5 years sometimes, and then all of a sudden they will all go mental at the same time. And I wonder if that's what's happened at Polo's, because that is literally, you can see that quite a few of his fish do have, like, there is quite a lot of aggression, especially with the tangs. I don't know if it happens with the angelfish, because in theory it should, but tangs are definitely, I would say, would be the worst offenders with regards to aggression.
And that's actually the other really good point, is that just because things go well for 6 months doesn't mean they'll go well forever. And you can find, just for whatever reason, one day a fish will just turn around and be like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Turn.
I wonder if it's like some tangs live for like 30 years apparently. So it wouldn't be unusual for 5 years to be like sexual maturity. I don't know how long it takes for a fish to reach.
It varies.
It's probably before that, it probably is before 5 years, because they obviously breed them for. But I don't know. I just wonder if that's what is that thing that triggers it, that like all of a sudden they change. So
yeah, could be.
But touch wood, at the moment I haven't had any issues, and the Flymo blade is not interested. She just has no interest in the others at all. Like. Which and I've actually seen that fish bite the tangs, but the blennies it just doesn't care about.
Yeah,
that was when they were in a real small quarantine like tank together.
Yeah.
And I remember when I had to put them all in there. This was ages ago. I was like, oh, I'm a bit worried about all these tangs like mixing together in like a 100-liter tank. And then it turned out the blenny was the one who was most angry.
So funny.
So
But you can get it's not always just, hey, don't worry, it's fine. Wang two blennies and you'll be all right. And there are
Yeah,
times when you'll see fish together in a shop. So you might see a tank in a shop with that's like a foot long, and it's
yeah,
got five mandarins in it. But actually,
yeah,
if you put two mandarins together, especially if it's two males, forget it.
yeah,
Just wait,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just not going to happen. So there are still loads of fish, and this is a little bit difficult because we can't go through and list every fish that will be okay, every type of goby, every type of wrasse, etc., that will be okay, and every type that can't. So there's a little bit. Do your research, ask around these sorts of things, and be prepared to take action if not. But I think it's
I would say most tangs can be mixed to some extent with other tangs, in
Mhm.
my experience. Whereas some wrasse absolutely cannot be kept together at all.
So Rasses is a really good one in particular. So there's a guy called, I can't remember his name, but he calls himself the Rass guy. What's his name? Hammond, Hunter Hammond. There we go.
No one's going to
And
remember Hunter Hammond, but everyone will remember the wrasse guy. So we probably should do that
exactly.
one.
But so he's prepared this RAS compatibility chart, and this is on therasguy.com/mixing dash Cyrillabris.
People like this are great because it
I know.
like I've never thought about making a RAS compatibility chart. Firstly, because I don't know. But do you see what I mean? Like that one person decided that one afternoon to go, I'm gonna make a chart, and it's probably helped so many people.
This wouldn't have been one afternoon. This would have been
I mean, one
months of
afternoon to
work.
type it
I
up.
know, yeah, exactly. But months of work. He doesn't sell it. He gets no benefit from it. Love it. But that's anyway, right. This is a brilliant chart for wrasses. This is the fairy wrasses, actually. So if you've got actually most Halichoris wrasses are okay together. I
Yeah,
think there's some Halichoris wrasses can be a bit aggressive, like your favorite, the Melanarus Hooven's wrasse.
yeah,
They can be a bit aggressive, but most of them are all right, actually. And I've kept people tell me you can't keep a pair of yellow wrasses together, which I think makes sense. So I wouldn't try that. But what you can do is you can keep a yellow wrasse and a silver belly wrasse, and they're very
yeah,
similar. Okay, silver belly is only 2/3 yellow instead of all yellow, but they look cool. So Halichoris wrasses are generally quite peaceful,
yeah.
but fairy wrasses are very different. But there's all these complexes and genuses, and I don't even know what the taxonomic language is for them. But this is a brilliant chart. So when it comes to fairy wrasses, that it's not easy at all. But there are loads in here, and it's color coded. So red is aggressive, amber is semi-aggressive, green is peaceful, and then you can split them as well. So if you've got a green on the far left-hand column and a green on the far right-hand column, chuck them in together, no problems whatsoever. And this,
Interesting.
I looked at this when I was drawing up my RAS list. So
Yeah,
I really want a Jordan's RAS. It's just you can't get them.
yeah,
So I have from the Lunatus complex, I have an Isosceles RAS, which is green, so
yeah.
peaceful, and it's in a completely separate. If you track it back, it's in a completely separate path to the rhomboid RAS, which is also green, but a completely separate fish, and they don't pay any attention to each other whatsoever. Like they don't know they're there.
See, that's really interesting because like I don't know that, so that chart will be useful for me as well.
It's brilliant. It's so good. I just Google RAS compatibility chart. It's
Yeah,
fantastic. I use it. I look at it regularly, and also it's a really good inspiration guide because sometimes you can be like, you look on that list and there's dozens of them, and there'll be fish that you've never heard of that you didn't know existed,
yeah,
and then you can match them on colours and all that sort of stuff as well. But so RASes are a little bit more difficult, but it's made easier by that chart,
yeah.
which is brilliant. Gobies. Have you ever kept multiple gobies together, Ryan?
I've never been a goby kind of guy.
Oh,
If I'm
really?
like, words I thought I'd never say, but no, I've never been a goby guy. I have had a couple of different gobies, I'd say, but I would say they were like one was a sand sifting and one was a watchman goby or whatever. So they're
Mhm,
not they're like very very different types of gobies.
mhm.
But no, there needs to be a goby compatibility chart. Is there a goby compatibility guy?
Not not the goby guy, not that I'm aware of, but I've never kept multiple gobies together. To be fair,
I feel like
um,
there's some areas of the hobby where there's this like black hole with regards to information, but there's if it went on Ultimate Reef, Did you see where you got a collection of all these different people and go, yeah, actually, I have these two fish together. Someone messaged me earlier saying, there's two different types of blastos, isn't there? Someone messaged me saying
Wells Eye and
Maletti, I think, is it?
Maletti, yeah, that's
yeah. They said, "Oh, can you keep these together?" And I don't know the answer. I have both of them, but I have both of them in different tanks. Yeah. So I've never got them to touch each other. if you weird way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people ask me about coral compatibility all the time, and the honest answer is I don't let any of my corals touch each other. So I don't know any more than you. If I don't experiment to go, oh, let's just put these together to see if they'll kill each other, because I've lost money. But
I was about to say we should do a coral compatibility one next, but
it would be really, really useful for so many people if there was, like the RAS one, if there was I feel the Tang one, basically, if you put any two tangs together, you're probably asking for trouble at first, but they usually will calm down.
Yeah.
The one tang which I think is the exception to almost every other tang, most tangs I've kept at some point or another. I looked after someone's Achilles once and things like that. The one tang that do you know what I'm going to say? That will not live with any other tangs, as far as I know, are clown tangs.
Clown tang, that's it. I always confuse those two.
There is only one word strong enough to describe a clown
Don't
tang.
say it. I'll get demonetized.
But there is only one word strong enough, and clown tangs are just something else, is what I'll say. They, like, if you say, "Oh, can I mix an Achilles and a yellow tang?" I'll go, yeah, probably. If you go, "Can I mix a yellow and a Scopus, or a purple and a vampire tang?" By all means, give it a go. Yeah. But if you want to mix a clown tang and anything, I think that you are asking for trouble. Is my honest opinion.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't matter how big they are either. I had a 2-inch one. Go on, make your stupid laughing face. I had literally a 2-inch clown tang chase like a fish which was double its size.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look, we found there's always one person. I've got a clown that lives with herself in. Okay, so yeah, look, of course there are some people that it will work for. We're talking about generally speaking.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It would be very difficult to do a coral compatibility guide, because you could put two corals next to each other. I've had this before. You put them next to each other, and they're fine.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, brilliant. And or a week or a month or whatever, and then a month or two later, it turns out they were just fighting really hard, and there was a snapping point when suddenly the other one gave out, and then suddenly it all dies, and it's like, no, they weren't okay. So that would be difficult, and that would be a lot of research, to be fair. But
there's some challenges as well. It depends when you say compatibility, is that like literally touching each other? Because if
we're going to be doing this next week, so I don't want to do no spoilers.
Well, I'm not sure how much advice I'm going to be able to give you, because as I just told you,
it'll be a useful discsion, I think. Angelfish is another one that you've kept multiples of, both large and dwarf.
I think that dwarf angels, not that generally. I've had 7. I think if you keep them as 2, you have a real problem. I think sometimes even with 7, there was still like one that would have got picked on more than the rest. There's like a hierarchy amongst them. Yeah. So it can be done. I find with the larger angels, they are more considerably more peaceful than tangs or smaller. That's
funny, isn't it?
Well, if you think about it, if you're a dwarf angel, you're not that big, which means you've got to develop an aggressive personality to get things to live on the reef where everyone's out for themselves. You've got to have a bit of a personality to survive. So I think, well, then again, you do wonder how firefish survive, actually, when you think about it, because they have no personality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just.
But yes, so sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Well, I've literally lost my train of thought. Angelfish, large angels.
Okay.
Large angels, I would say, usually have a personality where they're sort of occasionally they'll be like, yeah, I don't really like you, and they'll swim over and they might take a bite out of the other one, but that's so much it. Whereas tangs are like, I am going to kill you
constantly,
for days. they will be like that.
Which angels have you currently got together? I think your large angel is just the king eye.
So all of my angels are actually different. They're like different sort of subspecies.
Small,
of
medium,
angels.
and large.
I have a golden angel, which is a centropyge.
Yeah.
I think it's how it's pronounced. I've heard people pronounce it differently.
Pyge, I don't know.
Pyge, yeah. So that's the golden angel is that one. Then I have I think it's a paracentropyge. I'm not sure why I'm doing the Latin names because I don't know the Latin names of the other ones, which is the multi-bar angel. So that's like the medium-sized one. Then I obviously have the swallowtail, which is Genicanthus.
Genicanthus, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Actually, that's a large, and the regal is a semi-large.
Yeah, but they're different. The regal and then obviously the king eye. And I can't remember what the king eyes or the
Pomacanthus.
I don't think it is. It's the same as the goldflake, which isn't a pomacanthus.
Oh yes.
I don't know how you pronounce it. So
hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey, a polymicthus.
Is that what it is?
A polymicthus.
I thought it was something different.
Hang on. King
eye. I know what it is. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that. So
yeah, a polymicthus king eye.
Yeah, but it's not the same as it's not a pomacanthus, is what I was saying.
No.
Yeah, they're the same subspecies. So,
yeah, okay.
I would consider I quite like goldflakes. I would consider a goldflake, but I think the king eye is really peaceful. Like,
it's funny,
just doesn't care about anything, and I think that genus is pretty all right. Swallowtails are known for being aggressive, especially towards each other. Christian, who obviously has the absolutely massive tank with every possible angelfish you can think of, does not mix Genicanthus.
Just really, right?
Okay. He doesn't, because they can be a pain, as we saw with my pair.
Yeah. So just winding back to dwarf angels, because dwarf angels are really popular because angelfish are cool, and dwarf angels that don't get massive, so you can keep them in smallish tanks. So tell me a bit more about what dwarfs you can keep together, and when things go pear, why they go pear.
Again, I am not encouraging this for anyone. Like my advice for this is don't do it. Generally, there are people that have done it and do it, but just my advice is don't do it. Generally, people want to keep a coral beauty and a flame. Those are the two most common things that people want to keep together. They will usually fight pretty hard, continuously, non-stop, until one kills the other, is what I will say.
One or the other, yeah.
Sometimes you'll get lucky and you have a tank breakdown and that person has already had them living together or whatever, so that's fine. What I've done, so I've had a flame angel, a second flame angel, this is all in the same tank, a coral beauty, a second coral beauty, a bicolor, a lemon peel, and a golden. They were all in the same tank together. And to be fair, they were okay. I would assume it's similar to cichlids, where when you put a load of them together, they're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
They came from a tank breakdown, like from multiple tank breakdowns. So where I think the flames came together, and then the coral beauties came together. So I had 4. And the golden angel I got separately, and I think the bicolor and the lemon peel came together. So I wasn't going out and buying one at a time. That's the other thing. If you've got one new fish, all of the other fish target that fish. If you add multiple new fish, then the aggression is distributed between more than one. Yep. But would I do it again? I would. Let's put it this way. If I could do it, I'm the sort of person that would try it. And I don't think that will happen again for me.
No, okay. So you wouldn't keep any dwarves together? Dwarf angels?
Probably not at the moment. At the moment, I don't want the hassle.
Hang on a second. I know a multi-bar isn't a proper dwarf angel, but it effectively is.
They're not even close with regard. If you look at a golden angel, a golden angel is very similar to a coral beauty, and a coral beauty and a flame angel don't even look that similar.
But but in terms of size, like forget taxonomy, forget science. Yeah. In terms of size, a multi-bar is not a massive angel. It's not much bigger than a flame angel.
I don't actually know how I'm going to Google that.
They're not counted as multibars. Aren't counted as dwarf angels.
Well, they get to 5 inches apparently.
Yeah, and a proper big angel double.
Yeah, I know they get over a foot.
3 times that, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So you did all right. It's not technically a dwarf angel, but you keep a golden angel.
Yeah.
With the multibar.
Yes. Yeah.
And would you introduce a flame? No, you wouldn't, because they're the same with the golden.
The flame would be similar. Yeah, I was it would be a risk, and I think the one that would come out worse than that. See, I would like a Venustus. And I also would like a Collins.
Is that Centropyge? Collins, love that.
A Venustus is the same as the multibar. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right.
Yeah. But I see it being trouble. Is the honest answer. You know, like when you're younger and you do stupid things, whereas now when you get a bit older, you're like, no, I just want like a nice.
Take any risks when you're older. Yeah.
A nice peaceful life. Well, that's what I want. So it was a beautiful tank. The angelfish were amazing. I absolutely loved them. None of them touched coral, including the bicolor and lemon peel, until a Coral Beauty touched coral, and then it was like a free for all. So fish learn from each other. And that's the other risk. If you're keeping multiple coral-eating fish together, if you have one coral-eating fish and it doesn't see any of the other coral-eating fish eat coral, you might get away with it. If one of the other ones sees a coral-eating fish, you can get that. It can be a problem for all of them immediately. So
yeah,
just consider it before.
Yeah. What about large angels? Not as bad as dwarf.
I don't find them as aggressive at all. Like I know I said last week I wouldn't do it, but every day this week I've thought I'm literally a nightmare. Sometimes I don't want the tank anymore, and then sometimes like, it'd be really good if I had a blue face in there.
So they're big when they're adult
they
size.
do get big, but obviously when we get them, they're small. So and I am okay with moving fish on
completely.
To other. I'm okay with moving, and I know enough people that if I go, look, I've got a foot long blue faced angel. Does anyone have a tank big enough? They'll I know enough, so someone will be able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, I'm looking at you. But yeah, so I just think.
Go on, sorry.
They almost know that they're like tough, and I think the bigger they get, the less they care about other things. Generally, is what
completely. Small when
the other thing that I will say, if you're considering mixing something, I found that the tank bred ones are far less aggressive. So the multi-bar has not shown any aggression really towards the golden angel, but they're both tank bred, so maybe that's why they're fine. So they might have even been in the same tank at the wholesaler, because at the wholesaler they have all of it's like my favorite tank there. They usually have like 30 tank bred dwarf or angelfish all in the same tank together, and they're all fine. Mostly, occasionally you'll see one's a bit more aggressive. That's usually the one I take. If I see one of them, if there's 30 fish and one of them is like, out competing the other ones, that's the one that wants to survive. So that's usually the one I'll take. Yeah,
that's funny.
Might give me trouble long term, but it's
we touched briefly on gobies. Have you ever kept multiple shrimp gobies in the same tank?
No, I've never really had shrimp gobies. I don't really like gobies that much.
No, I'm not a massive fan actually. Well, I like them. I don't tend to keep them. But
that's all I've got.
You can keep yashi gobies in pairs, can't you? Male, female pair.
Yes, I also have the white tiger goby, so I do have 2 gobies at the moment.
And you can keep some other gobies in pairs. I saw a guy keeping 2 yellow gobies together.
Yeah.
But after a while, they got really aggressive. I wonder if they were your brown gobies that masquerade as yellows.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, that's true. But I had 2 white tiger gobies as well. I had a pair together for a long time. When I moved my 1,000-liter tank, that was the only fish that I lost. The only fish and the only coral I lost moving a full, like absolutely the fullest coral tank that you could think of, which was full of fish. I don't know why, just randomly I just lost that one fish. That was it. So, but I had them as a pair for years.
Yeah. So pairs are a bit different, aren't they? But I think in my tank, 6-foot tank, I currently have a shrimp
Yeah.
goby with a pistol shrimp. I think I would be happy. I did briefly have another one in, but it disappeared. So maybe this is a bad idea. But I would try 2 pistol shrimps and 2 shrimp gobies together, because they're not the kind of fish that swim around and will see each other. They'll set up a den somewhere and that's it. They have a very small territory. So I suspect that would be okay. But I don't know, your blennies wanted to live next to each other, didn't they?
I just realized something. One of the easiest ways to actually think about this is to think what corals are kept together at the not corals, what fish are kept together at the wholesaler. So you see at the wholesaler, you'll see like 50 jawfish in the same tank, but you'll never see 20 like Achilles tangs in the same tank. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you usually see a load of the assessors are usually all kept together. Butterflies are quite often kept in this, like Addis butterflies are kept together. You never see 2 cob bands together. Never.
Right. So I was just thinking, I actually, so butterflies, and I think I've only ever kept copper bands and yellow longnose.
Yeah.
But butterflies are one of those fish that I think would not get on well, based on it's been years since I've researched it. But I think if you had a longnose with a copper band, they wouldn't get on well. Or
but what I'm talking about, so like pyramid butterflies.
Yeah,
you normally will see 10 of those in the tank. With Addis butterflies, you'll see 10 of them in a tank. Like I'm talking about the wholesaler.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Whereas you
I'm talking. Yeah. Okay, which is fair enough. But I'm talking really about mixing different types.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't try an Addis butterfly with a copper band for many reasons. But that's my impression of butterflies. But
there was on Ultimate Reef, there was someone who had a butterfly fish tank. It was only butterfly fish. If you search it, you'll probably be able to find it. I don't know if it was a success or not, but I'm sure he had like 7 or 10 of them all together. I can't imagine he had any coral.
Yeah, no. Or if he did, he doesn't have now. Do you know what? I think AAC had a butterfly fish tank briefly. It was the Peninsula tank. I don't know how long that lasted. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I feel like they wouldn't go, but I don't know, to be honest. But I think the ones.
Someone in the chat has 2 cob bands, they say, but that person is, for people who saw that comment, that is the exception, not the rule. Copper bands hate each other.
Yeah,
they're like, it's funny because they're like this really wimpy fish with every other fish until you get 2 of them together.
Butterflies mix well. This guy keeps multiple in a 6-foot tank. Cool.
See, I thought that was the case as well, but I know you can't keep pairs of them usually, as in with copper.
Yeah.
I know copper.
They're the same. It's been years since I've looked into that, and the thing, butterflies are they're not realistic for a reef tank.
True.
I think those are the main fish that I wanted to cover. Are there any other fish that you think that do really well together, or?
I believe that pufferfish don't do well together.
Yeah.
I don't think people usually have success if they want to mix different types of pufferfish. Lionfish can be mixed together usually. I know we're getting a bit more obscure. Rabbitfish can weirdly, sometimes you see loads of rabbitfish together of one type. But I know that sometimes you can I have had 3 fox faces previously as well. To each of the different types of bicolor, a yellow, and the magnificent.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
And they got on time.
There was when Sean Russell used to run Ocean Project, he had in one of his coral trays, he had an orange spotted rabbitfish with a variegated 2-barred rabbitfish.
Yeah.
The 2-barred is the one I have, amazing fish, and the orange spotted one is the one I want.
Yeah.
So I really want to try them actually at some point because they're so cool. But I also saw someone on Ultimate Reef try, I think it was 2 of the Fiji. Is that the magnificent butterfly rabbitfish? Red fox face. Anyway.
Yeah, the one with the red tail. Yeah.
I've seen people try 2 butterflies together, just chaos, just disaster. So that's one.
Butterfly or rabbitfish.
Rabbitfish. Why am I saying butterflies? Rabbitfish.
Yeah, rabbitfish usually don't like each other. I got mine from a tank breakdown. Again, they've been living together. Sometimes you get these weird things. If you try it yourself, it doesn't work. But if someone else has tried it, they just got lucky one day. So it's a good way. If you buy a tank breakdown and they've got like if you want to have a flame angel and a coral beauty, that's the best place to get them. Like
Okay.
if you try them yourself, you'll have trouble. I know it's a rarity,
That's why I'm laughing. Yeah,
but I did it, so it's not
Yeah.
impossible.
there you go. There's
What
your
I should
voice.
do, I could specialize. I should get a tank specialized in pairing up those two fish together. Like
Yeah.
just divide the
Yeah.
fluval and just try to pair them. I reckon if I did that, I would be able to sell them like
Sell
that
them for $1,000. Yeah.
for whatever you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, new business model.
Mm.
What about basslets?
So yeah, I saw that. It's funny because I saw that comment and I want to know the answer to that comment. I love.
You've got two, haven't you?
No, I have one.
What's
And
your upside down fish?
That's an assessor.
Assessor. Isn't that a basslet?
No.
No, Alex.
I don't think it's. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not. I've never heard of it as a yellow assessor basslet, but he's talking about
so smug if it's a basslet.
He's talking about like Swiss guards, candies.
Yeah.
Tangerines, cave. There's a few different types of the.
It's not a basslet.
No, I would love to know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure they look like one of those fish, which is mean, if I'm honest.
Yes. A dusty purple hue may be exhibited and complement this attractive basslet.
There you go. So it's not a basslet in the way that they they are describing it's a basslet.
No, not in the same way as Swiss guard or candy or whatever. But would you? I'm guessing you wouldn't try because you've got like a 30,000.
See, I'd love to know, but it's for me as a present, and like it's one of my favorite fish, and sometimes it's just not worth risking it.
No, indeed.
I just find the wholesaler just to see what it's classified as.
He's not having it. I'm on live aquaria, which is basslet. See if assessors are under this. Come on, gold assessor basslet.
There you go. Looks like you're right.
Yeah. McNeil's assessor basslet. McNeil's anyway, whatever. There you go. But no, I feel like they're peaceful, but I don't know. You can never tell.
Like they wouldn't be peaceful,
right?
And the candy basslet did not like the wrasse that went in. Yeah, sometimes you just get this weird, this weird interaction with fish. It's fine now, but I'm having it. Grammars are also basslets, just so you know. And orchid dot well.
Royal grammars, yeah.
Yeah.
Orchid dotty backs, did you say?
Yeah, also classified as basslets according to.
Indeed.
So it's in the same category on the website.
Yeah.
There you go. Congratulations, you win this round.
I know you're gutted, aren't you?
Off a trophy.
Yes, please. I would actually. Thank you. Fine. Okay. I think that's as much use as we can be on the subject of mixing fish, unless you have any other wise words, Ryan.
The only thing that I will say is that if you are going to mix fish, an acclimation box. In fact, an acclimation box should be used for every single fish that you add to your tank, no matter what it is, at all times, forever. I think there's definitely a shortage of acclimation. It was a discussion we had yesterday, wasn't it?
It was.
But I know one of my customers wanted one the other day, and he said he couldn't find one. And I was like, well, how's that possible? So I Googled to see if I could find one, and I couldn't find one. So there's obviously a gap in the market. I don't know why they're not made, because they're just a box of acrylic, aren't they? There's nothing special about them.
No, indeed. I'm just going to make sure my postcode is on that page. Right. Let me share screen. So this is the one I have. Sorry?
Red Starfish used to do with them as well, didn't they?
This is one I have. If you go onto Amazon and search, the brand is Reefing Art, magnetic acclimation box, fish breeder nursery isolation tank.
Yeah.
This is the one I have, and they're out of stock quite regularly. This is a foot long, 6 inches by 6 inches. There's one that's 12 inches by 6 by 8. They're quite expensive, 60 quid for a little box, but it's well worth it.
They are worth their weight in gold. Trust me.
And I found it really difficult to find a good size one. And 12 inches by 6 by 6 I'd like it bigger.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad size actually. And I've had loads of fish in there, like my swallowtail angel was in there
Yeah.
and didn't look too big for it. So that's a good size. And 60 quid is money well spent, and you'll use it all the time. It makes you feel a lot more comfortable. So that's a really
The
good.
only fish that I couldn't fit in that was the Moorish idol. Like that, it just
Right,
it's
which is
too
quite tall.
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird
So
shape.
that's the only fish that I put in that wasn't in an acclimation box.
There's so the person we were talking to about this yesterday was Johnny from Aquaprint.
I came in hot at the very end of the conversation, didn't I?
Yeah, indeed.
So
Yeah.
I don't actually know how it started, but yeah, because he was thinking about making one, wasn't he? Was that right, or was that wrong?
I don't know what
that might be totally wrong. So
exactly.
Don't go to him.
We were talking about it.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. And yeah, because acclimation boxes would be worth. They're worth having. Acclimation boxes and fish traps are brilliant. You have one of each. So
sometimes you can use both of them for the same job.
I know it's not ideal,
but in a pinch.
No. The one thing, actually, that's a good point. Serious Reefs has a tutorial on how to a DIY one. This is very true. You can do indeed, but the fish trap that I have, it's not very long, and although 12 inches by 6 by 6 isn't massive, having one that's a foot long does make a difference, even if it's only a few inches longer than the fish trap. It's just the fish trap to me looks like it's an uncomfortable place for the fish to be, whereas the acclimation box, they all look it looks fine, but
the only thing I don't like about it is that I feel like the fish can't be that comfortable because it's like away from everything else. It's away from rocks. You see what I mean? Like I would like it to be near the rock work. It looks like it's on display to all the other fish.
Yeah, that's true.
As they're like trying to peck into it.
Yeah.
I usually feed into the acclimation box, and then the flow from the tank sucks the food out. And the fish eat.
It's never going to get all of it, is it?
No, and it forces the fish to interact with each other.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Or the old fish just think the new fish is a form of food. So one or the other.
Exactly, yeah. But there you go. All right. Very good. Well, I think we can move on then, Ryan. Okay. Because we need to now do the Prestige Reef Fish of the Week and the Prestige Reef Coral of the Week. So we're going to start with the Fish of the Week. Oh! I need to get a poll ready, don't I? To keep you.
I don't think I'm going to win this one.
No, I don't think you are.
I will only win this one if people have seen this fish in real life because it's so cool in real life. You let me know when you're ready. Don't give me that face. Okay. I'm going for a red-lined wrasse.
Is it this one?
The reason I like this fish is because when it turns, you see that blue line that runs along its mouth. When it turns, that like lights up like neon blue. So sometimes it looks like that, and sometimes it's almost like it has this flashing LED on it, which I don't see in any other fish. So you're going to say that it's ugly, or you don't like it, or I can see by your face already.
I love quality marine. Here we go. I love Halicoris wrasses. They're awesome. They're peaceful. They're active. They're easy. They eat pests. They're easy to keep. You can generally mix them together. They're fantastic choices for fish.
Yeah.
For me, but I don't like Melanoris wrasse, and loads of people do. For me, that is a little bit boring because it's red, but it's not really red.
As I said, the cool thing about this fish is that blue line, which you can't see. The only picture you can sort of see in it is the first one. You see where that line looks like much brighter. That's the one where a normal looking wrasse. So someone's Leslie just written that. But as I said, I won't be able to sell this fish to you unless you've actually seen it in real life. But I love them. I think they're. I remember the first one I saw, and I was like, "That is so cool."
That is cool. 8-line flasher wrasse.
That was like an English bulldog. So it's got that sort of like face to it, doesn't it?
It's got a bit of a. Okay, but to be fair, it's going well for you, Ryan.
There you go.
You've won. I'm going to end the poll 68%. Very impressive. Okay.
Rich says great minds. Rich, have you got one? If you do have one, can you please confirm about that blue line?
Yeah, there you go. Right. So that is what else can you tell us about that fish apart from it's got a cool blue line?
Basically everything that you've said with regards to the eats pests, which is the number one reason to have that that fish. Any Halicoris wrasse, everyone should have one, as long as your tank's not a nano.
100%.
If you have a nano tank, you should still have a RAS. Just get a pygmy RAS. That's what I think.
2 foot cube, I would I keep a RAS? Short term, yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, probably. Anything smaller, I wouldn't in the tank behind me, for example.
But yeah, I just they're such a valuable member of your essential like cleanup crew. That I think that everyone should have one, and I'm glad they won because that's what it should. That's what it should do.
Very good.
I'm mainly just glad they won. I really didn't think I would.
Yeah. What is the Prestige Reef Coral of the Week?
I've gone for a coral which people ask for all the time, and I think have you got this?
I have. I was just scanning through my my posts on Instagram to see if
are you going to pick a good picture.
I've picked a good picture, but I've not. I can't find my one.
I've gone for a bubblegum digi. They are one of the easiest SPS corals. I would say that arguably they're easier than some LPS corals. Definitely, I think the concept that LPS is easier than SPS is just not correct.
Acros, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, with regards to that. But yeah, anyway, bubblegum digi. So they are hardy, bright colors. As I said, they're in banging choice. They've got Les's approval already, so I feel like this one's going to do well. They're very similar to the Forest Fire digi, but the Forest Fire, I wouldn't say they were brighter. I think they're basically the same. Okay. But the Forest Fires, actually, I'd argue the Forest Fire are actually brighter because they have a green base, don't they?
So the only difference is 20 quid, basically.
Well, the blue base doesn't show up as bright as the green base.
No, okay.
I would say. But yeah, the only thing I will say is that Forest Fire looks very different in everyone's tanks. Like your one's really bright.
So this is bubblegum. Mine is from.
I'm sorry. I mean, both of them are like.
Oh, I see.
They look like you can see them in your tank, and you see them in another tank. It could be exactly the same like strain, like literally genetically identical, and because you've given the frag to someone, and they can look really different.
When I first put mine in, so I got it from Signature Frags. I went up there and collected it, so I saw it with my own eyes, and it looked like that picture on Worldwide Corals.
Yeah.
When I put it in my tank, after it looked fine at first, but after weeks, months, whatever, it just went red. And for about 6 months, or maybe not that long, but for a long time, it was just red. And now, it was like, that's rubbish, it's boring. But now it's got its colours back and it looks amazing again. So.
Yeah, when I saw it in that, I think that the reason I picked it is because subconsciously I saw that video you put out earlier.
Okay.
And that's where that came from.
It's grown as well. It takes a bit of time, but when it gets going, so in the video, it's bang in the middle.
Yeah.
You can't really see it then. You can't really see the yellow bits, but it's a nice
coral. It's a coral, you know exactly what that is when you see it. Just even from that picture in the background, I'm like, I know exactly what that coral is. Whereas you can have an acro on there and I'd be like,
no idea.
Named acros is that.
So in terms of easiness of keeping, by the way, acros are difficult, no two ways about it. And if people talk about SPS, they often talk about acros, and they are difficult. In my tank, I do have a few acros. They're doing okay, but not amazing. All the beginner, the easy SPS though, is doing brilliantly, despite getting low light and low flow. Especially the flow is
high phosphate.
Exactly, and high nutrients, but the flow is not great at all. The par is probably 180, something like that, maybe maximum. And I've got a Hystrix, a Monty, and what's the Red Sea Stylo. Those are the main ones, and they grow like crazy. They look fantastic. The colors are brilliant. Polyps, polyping. So
as they do.
Indeed, they're great. Acros, bit more hit and miss. One of them, actually, I've got a what's Garth Bonsai? What's it called? Acropora valida that's doing all right.
Yeah.
But they're just they're not really that happy. They'd be much better in higher light and higher flow.
Yeah.
But the Monty, no problem whatsoever. I've had loads of other corals that have given me grief, gonnies and torches. But Monty's, no problem.
So what you're saying is that SPS beginner corals.
No, I'm saying, and even then, I wouldn't like if you were to ask me what should I get as my first coral, don't get a Monty.
No, no.
Don't get Monty, because they might be easy for SPS, but they'll teach you a few things about water changes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, true.
yeah. But yeah. All right. So I'm going to end the poll, and you have smashed it out of the park there, Ryan. 88%.
Yeah, I had a
yes.
feeling I was going for an
That's
easy win this week.
Yeah, no.
I thought I'd lose the fish, so I thought I'd pick an easy coral, but
It's
I
some
won
low
both.
hanging fruit. But you did, yeah, very impressive. Okay. All right. So that is the Prestige Reef Fish of the Week and the Prestige Reef Coral of the Week. And what does that mean, Ryan?
The news.
And you've ruined my fun by taking away one of my news stories. So I'm just going to have to delete that.
What do you mean? You were told you couldn't have it as a news story.
You told me it was on Facebook.
It is on Facebook, but I don't know.
No. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Next week.
All right.
We'll have news next week, won't we?
It's not that exciting. Anyway, right. So, Ryan, I know you're a man who likes his equipment. So I'm going to start with that, and then we've got two stories. One that you'll like, definitely, for a fact.
Okay.
And one that you'll just like, I don't know. It's only one story, so I don't think you'll fall asleep, but we'll see how it goes.
I don't know. Try me. We'll start with that one.
Powerheads.
Okay.
Right. That's a good start. You're already glazing over a little bit.
Yeah.
Rotating powerheads, not as in oscillating like the ocean sea wave. It spins round. This was from Reef Stock, and this is on Novel Aquatics.
That looks like interesting.
Oh, really? You like that? Okay.
I'm not saying I like it. I think it looks interesting. Like, I think it's like, I don't know these people. Is this a company that's going to come after me?
Well, we'll put them on the list if you want.
I feel like it's a distraction from the tank.
Yeah. So the idea is it's a powerhead that it's just a standard powerhead, magnet on the outside, motor on the inside, just the same as any powerhead basically.
Yeah.
But the bit that is attached to the motor rotates. It spins round in a circle. I don't know how it does it. Presumably there's not a motor that does it. Presumably it's just the flow that pushes it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not much detail on it at the moment, and it's called Pulse or something like that, but I'll have to wait for more info.
Do you know what would have been more interesting? If they had that power head, but it rotated so slowly that you didn't know that it was moving.
Yeah, totally.
Because then over the course of the day, the flow will slowly change through your tank. So it is having some impact, and it has no impact on the visual look of your tank.
Yeah, I agree.
Power head should be seen and definitely not heard, but not
blend into the background. Yeah, I agree. My first thought was it looks a bit gimmicky. I like the idea on paper, and actually slowing it down, and that it might just be that's a demonstration just to show what it's like, and that you can set it so it goes more slowly. But that would be cool. Doing it slowly would be cool because then it spreads flow all around the tank, and cool. But Ryan doesn't approve.
Okay, I'll add them to the list.
You'll take that. What you will approve of is the world's largest coral, Ryan, has been discovered.
I saw that as well. I've seen that already.
Yeah. So
it's all one piece, isn't it?
It is. This is a Pavona. And this was it.
Actually, I don't know if they'd know if I think they were going to test its genetics to see if it was all one piece or if it's loads of pieces all merged into one.
I see. Right. Okay. But it's bloody enormous. It's in the Great Barrier Reef. It is thought to be 1,000 years old. So it's older than Methuselah. It is. They think it's a Pavona. It's bloody massive. It's 100 meters long. They reckon roughly. They've not measured it yet, and they reckon that the widest part is 80 meters wide. So it's the size. It's bigger than a football field. This is proper football, not American football. I don't know how big an American football field is, but it's big. All right, it's a big coral. It's bigger than any coral that Ryan's got, and Ryan's got off Coral Farm. So it's bloody enormous. That is not a coral. That is a man. Just a normal size man. That is a coral.
Thank you for clarification.
Just in case you're thinking, but it's this massive, and it's like a field of hills, just like undulating, or like what's the word? Just rolling hills. Yeah, it's just.
What do you think is interesting? If you go back to that other picture, just quick. What do you think is interesting? I want to see if you notice the same thing as me.
What picture?
That picture or any of the other ones.
What's interesting about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me what you see.
There's hardly any fish.
So they actually said there are loads of fish.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's like
not apparently they were all hiding, because
maybe this is true.
when I saw that, I was like, that's on a reef, you normally see loads of fish all
Everywhere,
going in and out and everything. And I thought maybe because it's one type, it's almost like a dead zone where only one type of fish is interested in being there.
Yeah, true. But it's a weird. So they said it's a pavona, or they think it's a pavona. It's not a pavona as you or I would know one.
No,
as a
no,
hobbyist. So I don't know what type it is, but anyway, it's kind of, they're not really like, they're not the proper branching corals, are they? That like chromis swim in and out of and all that sort of stuff. So, but there you go. It's been discovered. It's very old. It's very big, and it's cool. I don't actually know if it is the biggest in the world because I haven't measured it yet. 111 meters long, 3,973 square meters.
It looks like it goes on forever in that video, doesn't it? Because obviously, because of the water, you can only see like 20 meters. So it looks like it goes on for miles.
Yeah, exactly. It's so, for the first thing I thought when I saw that was how, like, this enormous, unthinkably massive. Yeah. Great Barrier Reef. That's not an unstudied area.
Yeah.
How has no one bumped into that before?
Well, that's the other thing, because
it's quite a lot.
It's the two women found it, didn't they?
Just
so it's like,
mother and daughter.
Where did they go that was different to anyone else has ever gone ever?
Yeah, I mean, the ocean's a big place, so
yeah,
that's the answer. But it's weird, isn't it? Shows how little we know about the oceans, let alone.
It also shows you how much coral is in some places.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a shame it's not like PC Rainbow or something.
Like, imagine if it was a Walt Disney.
Yeah,
be worth billions.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it would plummet the price of Walt Disney is what would actually happen.
Exactly. Yeah. There is one other kind of thingy news. So this I saw on Parker's Reef this week. He set up he made a review of this. I've got a feeling we've talked about this before though on the live stream in the news, but it's out now. It's the Focustronic Tracetronic. So it's a dosing pump basically that doses trace elements, and it does this. It goes down to 0.014 milliliters, which is minute, and it does it by it's got 12 dosing pumps in, so you can have 12 trace elements in it. This is if you're doing ICP tests. It mixes them all into a beaker, or it mixes them into a beaker with water, and then doses that water into your tank. And it's got a drop counter, so that's how it can dose very, very small amounts. But there you go. If you're fed up of adding drops of trace elements manually every now and then, you will soon be able to buy a Tracetronic from Focustronic.
I don't think I've heard of that, so I don't think we have spoken about it before, unless you spoke about it while I was away.
Sure we have, because it's been out. This is not brand new. I'm sure I saw something about it being. I saw an article that was like a few months old. Anyway, it is now. It's listed as coming soon on the website, but I think it's close to being released. It'll be relatively expensive, about £1,000 for a 12-head dosing pump. That's not bad, but it's massive. That's the problem with it. It's bloody enormous. So if you haven't,
they made some really interesting lights that never caught on.
The ones that move around, yeah,
and it makes sense, but I don't know why it never caught on, but it does make sense.
The Solartronic. I think part of the reason, or the main reason for me, is because they're bloody ugly, aren't they?
Is that the one that moves still? Because it didn't used to look like that. It used to be like a round. That might be the more modern version.
If you look underneath it, it is round, and it does kind of move around like that. So I wonder if that's the issue, is because it just looks like an old T5 unit. There you go.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I'm thinking more like the Kessels, what it used to be.
Oh, okay. I don't know that, but that's what I've always seen. But they're
a long time ago.
They're pretty bulky and ugly. It doesn't matter if you've got like a pelmet or a hood or whatever, but most people like a sleek, sexy, like the Kessel looks nice, doesn't it? So a lot of people like that. So it just means it's a niche. 52 centimeters by 39 centimeters length and width. That's quite big. That's a good thing because you want spread. But anyway, there you go. All right. Well, that is the end of the news. And you managed to stay awake, so well done, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Even though I was promised a story that was exciting, but I already knew it. So
You got. Oh yeah, this is true. All right. Well, we're going to end it there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. But we will be back next week potentially with coral compatibility. I'll see if that's a good idea. Right. Cheers, guys. Catch you later. Bye.
See you later.